going on, everybody? Joseph David here for Worldwide Sport Updates, your podcast, your news, your local community. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us on this last month of August. This is your host, Joseph Hadid, for Worldwide Sport Updates, your podcast, your news, your local community. I hope everybody's had a great weekend, nonetheless, and thank you for joining us on this Sunday morning and waking up to enjoying this recorded podcast for all the latest sports updates, wherever you may be across the world or across the country, nonetheless. And we have some top news that transpired this past week, and we're going to start off, ladies and gentlemen, with some college football. As Nick Saban, ladies and gentlemen, yes, he's not going anywhere, as Alabama have agreed to a $93.6 million contract to make him the highest paid coach in college football history. Alabama Nick Saban is the latest college football coach to benefit from the spending frenzy across the sport. According to The Athletic's Aaron Suttles, Alabama's Board of Trustees approved a new 8-year contract for Saban worth $93.6 million. His average salary of $11.7 million will make him the highest paid college football coach in the country. When Texas A&M gave Jimbo Fisher $75 million guaranteed in 2017, it was a sign of where coaching salaries were headed. Alright, let's move over to some NCAA, as the 2023 NCAA Women's Basketball Championship game is expected to be televised on ABC for the first time. The announcement comes amid continued calls for ESPN to widen its scope of women's sports coverage at the college and pro levels. South Carolina's title-clinching victory over Connecticut this spring averaged 4.85 million viewers and peaked at 5.91 million, the highest viewership since the year 2004. ESPN also received criticism in July when it initially declined to invite South Carolina star Aaliyah Boston to the ESPY Awards, where she was a nominee for Best College Athlete in Women's Sports. Boston said she wouldn't attend the ceremony even after receiving an invitation in response to the outcry. Moreno is exploring possibility of selling the Los Angeles Angels, ladies and gentlemen, in Major League Baseball news. The Los Angeles Angels owner Arte Moreno is looking into potentially selling his team. The 76-year-old businessman announced on Tuesday. The Angels retained Galatino Sports Partners as a financial advisor to help with the process of exploring strategic alternatives. It has been a ladies and gentlemen, in his quotes, it has been a great honor and privilege to own the Angels for 20 seasons, Moreno said. As an organization, we have worked to provide our fans an affordable and family-friendly ballpark experience while fielding competitive lineups which included some of the game's all-time great players. Ladies and gentlemen, the Arizona Coyotes to play at the newly named MULLET Arena. This might be one of the best arena names in the NHL. The Arizona Coyotes' newest rink, the 5,000 Arena at Arizona State University, will be named MULLET Arena after philanthropists and ASU donors Donald and Barbara Mullet. The Coyotes are set to play at MULLET Arena from 2022-2023 until the 2024-2025 season, with an option to stay there until 2005-2026. The move comes after the Coyotes played 18 years in Glendale. Earlier this year, the Coyotes announced that they reached a multi-year agreement with ASU to play in the multi-use facility that is located in Tempe, Arizona. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some amazing NASCAR news. Ladies and gentlemen, the University of Alabama announced first of its kind partnership with NASCAR. Can you believe it? How amazing is that? This move marks the first time NASCAR has ever sponsored a college athletic department, and it was revealed to the public last week on social media via the Crimson Tide Sports Network account, but no further detail was added. The outlet says that the partnership is a one-year deal that will last from this summer to the next, but no estimation of money that will be spent has been released. NASCAR can now use Alabama's IP in venue experimental activation opportunities, social and digital media interrogation, along with first-party data that NASCAR will use to drive ticket sales. Sarah Nurse, ladies and gentlemen, becomes the first women's hockey player to appear on the cover of NHL 23. The EA NHL franchise introduced women's national team rosters to the game in NHL 22. Nurse led all players with an Olympics record 18 points as Canada won a gold medal win over the United States at the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics. Congratulations to Sarah Nurse on making history and making an inspiration to the women's division. Truly awesome. Major League Baseball, ladies and gentlemen, have released the 2023 schedule. All 30 teams will face each other in a new format. Opening day is set for March 30th, 2023. The 2022 Major League Baseball regular season is entering its stretch run, but it's never too early to look ahead to the next year. Wednesday afternoon, Major League Baseball announced the 2023 regular season schedule. Opening day will be on Thursday, March 30th, with all 30 teams in action. The All-Star Game is scheduled for Tuesday, July 11th at the T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. Most notably, 2023 will be the first season with a new, more balanced. No longer will interleague play rotate divisions each year. Every team will play at least one series against every other team beginning next season. Major League Baseball and the Major League Baseball Players Association agreed to the more balanced schedule format as part of the new collective bargaining agreement. National Hockey League and National Hockey League Players Association are planning for 2024 return for the World Cup of Hockey. Truly awesome for NHL. The NHL and NHLPA are planning for the return of the World Cup of Hockey after an 8-year hiatus. The league is targeting 17 days in February of 2024 to hold the tournament. NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly confirmed that tentative plans have the event occurring both in North America and abroad in Europe. At least 8 national teams will participate, with the chance a qualifier will be extended to include more. Len Dawson, ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Fame quarterback and broadcaster, has died at the age of 87. An all-state football and basketball player at Alliance High School in Ohio. Dawson turned down a scholarship offer at Ohio State to play in a more pass-friendly offense at Purdue, where he was recruited by assistant coach Hank Stram, who later became his head coach with the Chiefs. Dawson led the Big Ten in passing yards during all 3 of his seasons at Purdue, and on the strength of that performance, he went to the Steelers with the 5th overall pick in the 1957 NFL Draft. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, some college football news to share with you. The 5 longest active-tenured FBS head coaches entering 2022. Starting with number 5, Pat Fitzgerald out of Northwestern, hired on July of 2006. Number 4, Rick Stockstill out of Middle Tennessee State, hired back on December of 2005. Mike Gundy out of Oklahoma State, hired back on January of 2005. Kyle Wintingham of Utah, hired December of 2004. Kirk Fuentes out of Iowa, hired on December of the year 1998. Ladies and gentlemen, Major League Baseball to participate in Korea series in November featuring 4 games versus KBO. Major League Baseball players will participate in a 4-game Korea series in November, traveling to South Korea for matchups against members of the Korean Baseball Organization. The league announced Friday the event will be hosted in Busan at the Busan Sijek Baseball Stadium on November 11 and November 12, and at Seoul's Gocheik Skydome on November 14th and November 15th. Tampa Bay Rays signed right-hander Tyler Glasnow to a 2-year contract extension. The Tampa Bay Rays on Friday announced that they have signed right-handed starting pitcher Tyler Glasnow to a 2-year contract extension that will run through the 2024 season. Glasnow, 29 years of age, had been slanted for free agency after the 2023 season. So this deal, in essence, buys out that the first of those free agent years. According to Ken Rosenthal, the deal will pay Glasnow $5.35 million for 2023 and expected $25 million for the year 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, some NFL news to share with you. Los Angeles Rams to discipline Aaron Donald and the players in Bengals brawl internally this past week. The Los Angeles Rams are going to handle discipline for Aaron Donald and other players involved in Thursday's brawl with the Cincinnati Bengals internally. According to Bart Shop and Ben Baby, the Rams and Bengals ended their joint practice early when a melee broke out during a team drill featuring the Bengals' first team offense and the Rams' first team defense. And ladies and gentlemen, speaking of the Bengals and the Los Angeles Rams, this was a rematch of last year's Super Bowl 56 at SoFi Stadium. They had a preseason game yesterday. Bengals beat the Los Angeles Rams. Final score 16-7. As both teams now have bye week next week and they prepare for the regular season of the NFL. Just less than, 2 weeks away, I believe? Yes. Seattle Mariners, ladies and gentlemen, and Julio Rodriguez just got what he was looking for as he finalized a long-term extension, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 12-year contract. Star rookie Julio Rodriguez is going to love Seattle Mariners. He's committed and he's staying put. Have finalized a massive long-term extension that guarantees the 21-year-old outfielder $210 million and could max out at $470 million, folks, which would be the richest deal in American sports history. And ladies and gentlemen, speaking of Julio Rodriguez, he also became the first Mariner since Mike Cameron in 2002 to join the 2020 club and the 12th rookie in Major League Baseball history. This guy is definitely making a name for himself, and he is definitely going to be committed to the Seattle Mariners for years to come, that's for sure. Also, ladies and gentlemen, more history being made in Major League Baseball news. Baltimore Orioles, ladies and gentlemen, Adley Rutschman, if you have not known or heard of his name, you've heard it now pretty much, is living up to the hype as Major League Baseball's next great catcher. If anyone's wondering how the Baltimore Orioles are still winning games, even after folding 2 of their best players, at the August 2 trade deadline? Well, there's at least one good explanation. In Adley Rutschman, they have arguably the best catcher in Major League Baseball right now. This is to say that the 24-year-old Rutschman is becoming what he was foretold to be when the Orioles drafted him at number 1 overall in 2019. People were slapping Buster Posey comparisons on him left and right, and they stuck as he debuted as a consensus top 5 prospect in 2020 and ascended to the top spot in baseball in America's rankings for 2022. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, Adley Rutschman, ladies and gentlemen, of the Baltimore Orioles, they signed him, ladies and gentlemen, to a 20-year, $600 million contract through the year 2042 season, ladies and gentlemen. So he is not gonna go anywhere, as the Baltimore Orioles are definitely committed and they love this guy that will be staying with the franchise for years to come. Awesome stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our summer podcast. As we end the month of August, we close out the month of August. And thank you for joining us throughout the summer on our recorded podcast and listening to all the sports, wherever you may be across the world and country, for all the sports updates. Ladies and gentlemen, again, as I mentioned last week, and we will mention it again for a friendly reminder, starting this upcoming Friday, September 2nd, 2022, the recorded podcast will now be moved to Fridays until maybe next year's summer. Yes, so ladies and gentlemen, now our recorded podcasts will be published on our YouTube channel every Friday of the week, unless something comes up where, we have to cancel due to some personal reasons. We'll definitely keep you up to date on that if anything happens to arise where, if we have any software issues or our system needs to be updated, we'll definitely keep you up to date nonetheless. But again, as I mentioned, further moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, starting on Friday, September 2nd, 2022, the Friday recording podcasts will be published on Fridays. And ladies and gentlemen, we will have live podcast debuting to get ready for football season this upcoming Sunday, September 4, 2022, for all the latest sports updates that is happening across the world and across the country for the latest. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. As this upcoming Sunday, we're going to talk about college football, UFC, NFL football, to get ready for Thursday night between the Bills and the Los Angeles Rams season opener on Thursday Night Football. We're going to talk about, again, if I mentioned UFC, college football, NFL, women's basketball playoffs, the NBA, Major League Baseball, everything, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it here on our podcast, our recorded podcast, Worldwide Sport Updates, your podcast, your news, your local community. Again, this is Joseph Hadid. This is all for this week, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you on this Friday's recorded podcast. So tune in for all the latest sports updates that's happening across the world and across the country. And also tune into our live podcast this upcoming Sunday. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please like, share, subscribe, and follow Worldwide Sport Updates. Again, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your work week. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you. Again, tune in to this Friday for the recorded podcast for all the latest sports updates. Again, this is Joseph Hadid signing off for Worldwide Sport Updates, your podcast, your news, your local community. Stay safe out there, world. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.